Oh, hey there, boys and lizards. Even though Christmas is over, I am still dressed up. That's right. That's right, Christmas is over. Hopefully you all had a fantastic Christmas. And welcome to our final stream of this year, 2024, as it comes to an end. Hope you're doing fantastic today and have had a great weekend and Christmas time as we approach the last few days of this year. So, Happy New Year to all of you. He's still dressed up for a Christmas. Probably a lot of people still have their Christmas stuff up. He's still dressed. He still wants Christmas time, even though he can't even see anything. You know, it's just how it is. Then we have our other mouse here, who is not ready for Christmas. He was never dressed, did you? How cute is that? So, yeah, hopefully you all are ready for the brand new year, whatever it may bring for you. I hope that you are excited about the brand new year and are ready to embark on whatever it may bring. I think it's really interesting that we can take a look at this time and just kind of reflect back and see, you know, what have we accomplished this year? What are the things that have allowed us to grow and learn and become better people and wiser to be able to head into the next year? What can we do to improve this next year? You know, a lot of times I always hear that someone wants to learn something, or you know, whether it be like a new skill or something along these lines, and they always end up procrastinating and waiting, when the best thing you can do is start right away. You shouldn't be waiting for these things to happen in your life or waiting for certain circumstances to happen. You should just go about actually doing the things that you want to learn, you want to do, and just going about it as opposed to waiting and procrastinating and just holding off. Because when you do that, you're only delaying what you want to learn, what you want to excel at. And then weeks go by, months go by, even years go by, and then you're like, you know, I haven't done that yet. You know, it's very interesting. There's been multiple things in my life over the years that I've thought about that. There's been various things that I'm trying to learn or something. It's like, no, I'll just wait for this other thing. I'll just wait for this. And if I just kept waiting and waiting and waiting, those things would have never happened. So it's about putting the action into play. That is what our theme and our motto is going to be heading into the next year, which is going to be you putting your actions into play here. Whatever it may be, whatever things that you want to implement in your life, you have to just put it into action so that you can bring about the outcome that you desire. So that's what 2025 is all about. Let me see if I can take a sip of my tea, hopefully. No, I cannot. So yeah, 2025 is going to bring a lot of interesting changes for us. I personally have a very optimistic viewpoint on it. A lot of people may have a very pessimistic viewpoint on it. Honestly, it all comes down to your own personal perspective on matters. Because no matter how bad or negative things go in the world and the things that happen in the world, we must always remember that we can still see through all that and just be happy and be who we truly are. That is what it's all about, just being our true authentic self and being as happy as we possibly can. So, I want to say hello to Heathen Granny. How are you doing, Heathen? Hopefully you had a nice Christmas and are ready for the brand new year. Yeah, the orange nugget is coming back. I prefer the pink feet. DJ. So, you know, there's always this political divide and such, and the thing that you always had to remember is that no matter how bad you think things may get or things may end up happening that you don't like or anything else along those lines, you always have to be in the type of mindset that it doesn't affect you as negatively as you're letting it. It's about not letting these things negatively affect you. Okay? There may be some things that are very, very bad for you that may not necessarily be of your best interest, but it's all about just not letting it negatively affect you. Look, I want to show this to you. This is actually funny what they're doing here. Look at that. Isn't that cute? He just has like his little hat resting on the other one. He's like, I want you to wear the Christmas hat. But he's not actually wearing it. I refuse to wear the Christmas hat. I demand he wears the Christmas hat. What if I wore the Christmas hat? Actually, I'm not, but what if I wore the Christmas skirt? What if I did like, okay. If I did like the Christmas skirt, like here, there you go. We're silly, right? That's funny. That's very funny. Oh no, boy, you have taken off your Christmas stuff. Well, oh well, time to take it off. Okay, well, I guess his Christmas stuff is off now. We're gonna toss it aside. Tossing it aside. All right. There we go. Let's take a sip of our amazing tea. All right. So I want you to think now of what are some accomplishments you have made in 2024. Just think about that for a moment, and be free to share those if you so desire. Be free to share those things that you have managed to, some sort of challenge that you managed to overcome, or some sort of skill that you've started learning or have. I don't like the word master because you don't really master really anything. You just learn more about it and just become better. So anything that could be a very big revolutionary thing for you in 2024, what was that biggest thing? Think about that. You know, just reflect back on it, because as I said, this is an important time to be thinking of the accomplishments that you have made, the things that you have done with your life, and what you can do going forward. You know, that's how you achieve success in life. It's about reflecting back, seeing what your mistakes are, and becoming better. Oh, Heathen Granny, I just noticed you have a new icon next to the trademark in your 666 name, which is the communist symbol. Oh my goodness. The hammer and a sickle. Interesting. Anyway, Lego Star Wars TCS, how are you doing today? Hopefully you're doing fantastic. Yeah, this is our final stream of the year. We're just thinking about the things that we have accomplished this year. Like what's been your biggest accomplishment for 2024? And what do you want to achieve in 2025? You know, this is a good progress report that we can think about, to say that here's what we have done, here's what we can do better. In 2025, we're going to make it better. We're going to make our skills, our life, and just so many different things that we're working on to become a better person. All of those things are going to improve once we put in the time and energy to achieving those things. So, yeah, the hammer and sickle in your name. I'm surprised that you were able to get that in there. That's interesting. That's very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. I mean, I guess they allow. I mean, I understand maybe like the trademark in your name, but not that. Like, I don't know how. I guess you would find like a copy and paste version of that, and you would be able to put that in, and they accepted it. That's really interesting. Yeah, how many times are you going to change your? How many times, Heathen Granny, have you changed your name this year? You should keep track. If you have not kept track, start in 2025. Keep track of how many times you've changed your name. It's probably been like hundreds. Hundreds of times that you've changed the name. Funny stuff, right? Funny stuff. Yeah. So 2024 for me I would say was a very, very big year. And it still is, you know, there's like so many things that have just happened just this month that have been so like revolutionary for me. Such major big changes for me, you know, just being able to see things from a different perspective and being able to step out of my comfort zone even to do things that I wouldn't normally do, or just go places, or, you know, talk to people that I wouldn't normally do, all that sort of stuff. That is how you make progress in this life. That's how you become the best version of yourself, which is to find the things that you're struggling with and learn to actually bring those out so that you no longer deal with that. So if you have a lot of, I always use this example. This is actually a very, very good example and something that I've overcome with various challenges in my life. But so if you ever like a fear of public speaking, which I would say probably a lot of people, you know, have some sort of fear and everything. So I had this sort of fear a very, very long time ago, and I would get extremely nervous before and during and even after any sort of like presentation, like in school and everything, all that sort of stuff. And I did, way back then, I did like a self-hypnosis in order to really help me overcome those fears of public speaking. So this was back before you could like connect to the internet like as easily. Like I was still pretty young, so I managed to like find like a like an audio recording, and I put that on a CD and I listened to it a few times, and then next thing I know, it's like my anxiety was drastically lower next time I went to go do a public speaking. So it's very interesting how that all works. It's very interesting. So yeah, I've talked about hypnosis before, self-hypnosis. It's just the major benefits of it. These are things that you visualize, you manifest, and you do every single day, and you may not necessarily see the results immediately. Sometimes it can take time. Sometimes it can almost have well, it's not necessarily the self-hypnosis. Some affirmations that you may give yourself may have the opposite effect depending on various circumstances of how you're going about it. However, that is kind of a bit of a different topic, but it's still along the same lines of you giving yourself positive affirmations to achieve a goal or to learn something or anything else along the lines. And life will give you those opportunities in order for you to learn the skills necessary to actually overcome that challenge that you have. So for me, talking about the anxiety that I had with public speaking and then doing like the hypnosis and everything, which had a major positive impact. It was just something that I was just so shocked about, because I just remember, I still had anxiety prior to any sort of public speaking. Absolutely. Still had some anxiety, but it seemed less. And then when I actually was doing the presentation, there was a far less anxiety. And then afterwards, there was like really nothing. So it's like it drastically improved my ability to do any sort of public speaking. And now look what I'm doing. I mean, this is different, obviously, because I mean that's to be real. I'm just sitting here on my computer talking to my computer. I don't see the crowd. I don't see people. Roosters, do you see the people? No, Laylaser, all we see is feet, and we love feet, we love feet, we love feet, we love feet. That's right, that's right. So, yeah, you don't see the crowd, you don't see the people, so even that was actually quite helpful as well, being able to just get myself out there and just to talk in front of a camera, So that's different, obviously, than talking with people in person, but it's interesting now. So here's something, again, you can kind of reflect on in your own life. Like, see how your mental health has been over the past year. Has your mental health improved, or has it gone downhill this year? Have things gotten worse for you this year? If so, you got to be thinking about what can you do come 2025 to improve your mental health. What can be some things that you implement into your life for your own benefit, for your own health and wellness. You have to take that initiative to plan out a course for your life of what you want to do, how you want to achieve it. What sort of success will you have in the new year? Ah. Let's say Lego Star Wars says, I hate. Is that something that you struggled with this year? A lot of hatred, maybe towards other people, or even yourself even? You know, that is a major thing to work on for sure, because in my personal opinion, I don't believe in any sort of hate. I don't like that word. I just don't think it's not really anything that I use, because I can dislike something. I can dislike a person. I can dislike a person's ideas and beliefs, but I feel as though hate is such a strong negative word that I'm not going to use that in my life. You know, because it's such a strong negative thing. Like I have resentment towards someone else. And we really have to analyze what hatred actually is. A lot of times when people hate someone or something else, it could be because they could be jealous of this person. Maybe this person has something that they don't have, so they end up hating them as a result. That's certainly a possibility. That's not always the case, but it's certainly a possibility. So certain people may get on your nerves. A bunch of other things could be going on that you just have hatred because you are not able to have a compassionate side when it comes to this annoying person or someone else in your life that is causing problems. So being able to learn and accept everyone for who they are, that is a very difficult thing because we're all different. You know, there's a lot of people who are very negative, a lot of people who may say some horrible things to you. You know, I've talked about my experience being on YouTube, for over a decade now, just the number of just absolute garbage that I've received, So, Ryan, it is great to have you here. How are you doing? Yeah, for everyone just now joining, how was y'all's Christmas? How was y'all's Christmas? You have a good Christmas? See, I just kind of feel like doing an accent right now. It's like I just can't talk normally. Like for whatever reason, if you notice, when I was talking normally there, I was like talking very slow. It's kind of hard to get my words out. But now that I'm talking like this with this accent, I can get it all out really fast. But then if I try to go back to my usual voice, it's a little bit harder to actually talk. Isn't that just weird? I don't know why. It's just kind of weird. It really is. The rats are watching. Anyway, we're talking about our major accomplishments. For anyone who's just now joining as well, we're talking about our major accomplishments we did in 2024. And what we're looking forward to in 2025. What amazing, life-changing things are going to happen. So, I can just honestly, I don't even know all of the things that I've achieved in 2024. It's been so many things. Just being able, I kind of touched on a little bit, just being able to be more, or doing my best, rather, to be more confident and, just allow myself to step out of my comfort zone and do things that I wouldn't normally do, or things that I have done before, but maybe I just was too scared, or I don't know. I really don't know how to phrase it, but so you have to look at the milestones even. It's like when we're talking about like making videos online here, this was actually 2024 was a year that I finally hit 1,000+ subscribers on my gaming content, So that is like a big milestone. That's a big milestone according to YouTube as well, because you can actually, make monetization money from you would too by having over 1,000 subscribers on the gaming stuff. You know, so I would say, let me tell you this. This is what's so weird. The gaming content, it gets a fraction of the amount of views that I get on this channel, but it gets almost as much money as I get on this channel. So I almost like doubled my ad revenue just from having the 1,000 subscribers. My guess is because we talk about controversial stuff here. We talk about things that are not advertiser friendly for the most part. The gaming stuff, I mean, that's advertiser friendly. It's just video games. Advertisers are going to advertise on those. So it's interesting how that is. But yeah, I mean, there's been that when it comes to, you know, finances. There's been a lot of other things that have, you know, worked. I've seen a lot of, how do I want to phrase it? A lot of my hard work of the things that I've learned over the years or have been working on finally starting to become a reality when it comes to even just like finances as well, money and income, you know, things starting to take a better, I don't know exactly how I'm trying to phrase this. It's a little challenging to actually try to phrase what I'm trying to say. But just things that I have worked on just finally starting to be come to light, shall we say. Skills that I have that are finally starting to manifest. Or things that I have thought about. We talked about the hypnosis before. So if I'm thinking of a thought and I'm giving myself these positive affirmations to achieve something, to draw something into my life so that I can learn something or just have a new skill or something, anything really. Anything you could be imagining or thinking about that I've done this year, which has been so many things, then you may not, I often don't see the results right away. It can take some time, but when it happens, it's like a lot. There's like a lot that happens. So it's just about being patient and letting those wishes and desires that you have, that you're putting out into the universe, for them to be recognized and heard and for them to come back to you. So it takes some time to achieve that. So I mean, I know I'm being kind of vague. I mean, that's just how I am, honestly. That's just how I am. I mean, even my own family just doesn't know like a lot of the stuff that I do. You know, it's like it's all a secret. It's all a secret. It's all a secret. But yeah, so big plans. Lots of success, shall we say. Ryan says, I'm hanging in there. I'm battling bronchitis, but I am beating its butt out of spite. Okay, well, I really hope that you get better, Ryan. I hope things improve for you. That kind of sucks to get it around this time. Hopefully it didn't sabotage your Christmas. Hopefully it's not going to sabotage your New Year. I hope it doesn't. But, I don't know. Look at these two silly rats. So I haven't heard from all of you yet. What's been your biggest accomplishment in 2024? What's been your biggest accomplishment? You know, I kind of just vaguely talked about some of my stuff. Very discreetly and vaguely. You know, because mine is like many things, you know, it's like I don't even remember all of the stuff. But, you know, some of the stuff is like you know, secret. Secret. See, the secrets are not bad secrets. Let's just be clear on that, because I feel as though a lot of people have an idea that, oh, if it's a secret, it must be bad. Don't share. Don't tell it. That's not always the case. Well, that's not the case at all with me. You know, it's just like I prefer to have some things private unless I'm specifically asked about it and it comes out in some way via like, I often don't volunteer the information is kind of what I'm saying. So that's kind of why I don't talk too much about me. It's kind of like I'll be vague, but that is it. That's it. I feel as though I used to be far more open about stuff, but that was like stuff that I was like dealing with and I was overcoming. But now it's like, nah. See, rocked out on Christmas, New Year's is meh. I usually play it lazy anyhow. Okay. Okay. So Christmas time for you, I guess you got sick after Christmas. Okay. Wow. Christmas was relatively tame for me, I must say. Nothing, I mean honestly, nothing too crazy. Try to keep it easy. So you're finishing your Wendigo book. Is it all done now? Or are you still working on it, Ryan? Is it all done or are you still working on it? You know, whenever we set out to achieve a goal or we are trying to accomplish something and we have a timeline, a deadline, if you will. This is often why I really don't like deadlines for the most part. I believe in more flexible deadlines with certain things because it makes, if you have a hard deadline, let's say that it's six months out, a lot of times you'll be like, oh, I can just procrastinate for like 5.5 months and then quickly rush and do it last minute, you know? Mm-mm. Mm-mm. That's happened to me so many times, so I really don't make deadlines like that anymore. Rather, something that I do is I make small incremental steps. It's like, okay, maybe by this weekend, I want to have these things done, about doing it incrementally. I mean, the overall picture is going to be something more in a longer term as to what do I want to accomplish. But the fact is, all those little things that you do, they all add up for your bigger goal that you have in mind. Your much larger goal that you're planning. So whatever goal is that you have for the new year, be very specific with it. A lot of people make these New Year's resolutions. We've talked about this so many times before, about people who make New Year's resolutions that they stick with it for a few weeks and then it's gone. It's like it never happened. And it's a shame. It's because they didn't realize, well, first of all, they didn't realize, number one, that it was going to be as difficult as they thought. Number two, they were too broad with the goal that they had, that they didn't make the micro goals in order to achieve that. They know what their goal is, they just don't know the steps to get there. And if they know some of the steps, it could be some steps that are kind of broken, missing, so that they're not able to actually climb them successfully. Another thing is perhaps they see a lot of progress initially and then things start to regress, things start to go backwards. That happens with anything that we are doing to improve ourselves, or things that even just factor in like food, okay? If you had to eat the same meal for 7 days in a row, that first day it's amazing, you actually love it. And then by the 7th day, you're just sick of it. You just don't want to see it anymore. The thought of it is just, ugh. That's not always the case. I mean, there's like plenty of food that I love that I could probably eat every day, but I've eaten, a week on end or so. But the fact is a lot of people will fall back into old habits because something that is new is exciting. Something new is very exciting. It gets their attention. It makes them feel very, very good. Things start to work in a certain way that they're hoping, and then things start slowly unwinding and going back to the way that they were, and then they get discouraged and upset, and then they end up giving up. It's a shame. It's a shame, but that's what a lot of people end up dealing with. And say, Ryan, it's all done and off to the publishers. Okay, so you're not doing a self-publishing, I guess. You're just you're having it go through a publishing thing. Because I know you can, do it like there's a lot of things you can just do for like self-publishing. You have like a lot of these websites you can, make books and sell them on your own. So, interesting. Well, congratulations, Ryan. That is a major step for you. So a major victory for you, for sure. So then, if we're thinking about the new year ahead, 2025, what is 2025 going to bring us? What is 2025 going to bring us? I would like to say hello to Katriana. How are you doing today? Hopefully you're doing fantastic. Good evening from the Netherlands. What time is it there in the Netherlands? Here it is about 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time. But I guess over there it could be like probably like what, 10, 11? Maybe even later, I don't know. Mice. So I want to hear now, what do you want to accomplish in 2025? What's your big goal in 2025? Again, I know you come here to hear me talk about my own experiences in life, but I always keep a lot of secrets, as I mentioned. So it's like a lot of my big plans for 2025, we're not going to hear about them. Not anytime soon, at least. So, yeah. Eventually. But, yeah. You're not going to hear about those. Secret. But yeah, it's about having the plan. So yeah, I think 2025 is going to be an amazing year. I already see a lot of the groundwork already. Just this year, how things have progressed, even just over the past month. Just how much better things have gotten for me personally. There's still a lot to learn, there's a lot to grow, but I think 2025 is going to be an amazing year. So I'm always optimistic, and if things don't go the way that you plan, it is the way that it is. Okay. Okay, let's say the publishing company is going to create hype packages for it, plus they'll pay me for meet and greets and book signings. Oh, that is amazing. That's amazing. More books in 2025. A Skinworker book in the works. And from there, it's going to be separate books on indigenous folklore. Okay. Sounds amazing, Ryan. You have a lot of ambition to be doing that. I know this book took a long time for you to be able to do that. So, yeah, I just wish you much success with it. Hopefully, it'll be like a learning lesson for you so that your next books are even quicker. You're able to get them done even more. Let's see, it will bring a lot of positivity and I hope a more peaceful world. It's almost midnight. Oh, almost midnight there, okay. So yeah, just a few more days before we enter into the new world, and I really do hope that it's going to be a positive thing. As I've said, even if it doesn't seem like it's going to be positive, or you have a lot of things that you think are going to be very negative for you, a lot of bad stuff that you're anticipating, it's about being optimistic, and it's about achieving whatever goals you have and not really worrying about a lot of that negative stuff. It's not about not worrying about it. Let me correct that. Rather, it's about you being able to not let the negative things affect you. Okay? Which also means that you don't really worry about it, but you are aware of it. You're consciously aware. I think we talked about that in a recent video, or maybe I think the video is coming up in 2025 actually. I want to say it's in January sometime. So yeah, if you're a member of this channel for the tier 2 or something up, then you would get early access to the videos. But yeah, it's all about you being able to recognize when you're being even just manipulated or controlled, or you're having your mind altered in a way to have you think a different outcome than what may end up happening. And then you become very fearful. You go into a fear state and things become very challenging for you. And as a result, you're not really able to see rationally. It's all about letting all of that go and just be mindful of the present moment. Realizing that a lot of the stuff that's happening around you, at least, is just something to not really worry too much about. It's good to be prepared, but it's also good to be optimistic and hopeful that the negative things are not going to happen the way that you think, because our mind creates our reality. So if all you do is think negative thoughts and negative things, you will never attract your positive outcome. It's like, it's very easy for us to get stuck in a negative mindset. Like, imagine oh, I'm going to be lonely forever. I'm going to be not, what is it? I'm going to have to work tirelessly. I'm never going to have any money to get the stuff that I want. I'm always going to be called a loser and an outcast and all this other stuff. And it's like, all those negative affirmations, you're basically giving yourself these negative affirmations to put into your head, like, okay, you are a weird person who doesn't, make any sort of money, who no one likes. You're basically telling yourself and defining yourself as that. That's something that I used to do a long time ago. I used to put myself into that type of mindset, and then I ended up changing it. It's like, I'm not going to think those negative thoughts about myself anymore. So I don't think about those negative thoughts about myself. Instead, I give myself positive affirmations. If I want to achieve something, I will give myself those positive affirmations to reaffirm that this is where things are going. This is how, well, it may not happen always the way that you think it's going to happen. It rarely ever does. If you think, oh, this is how it's going to happen, it's going to be so great, or this and that is going to happen this sort of way, or I'm going to be able to do this and that. It's like, no, it's not how it's going to work. It's often going to be very different than what you're expecting. It's going to be very surprising when it ends up happening, and it's going to be very different the way that it ends up happening. So you may have an idea that it's going to happen this way, and it's like, no. It's going to happen a completely different way that you were not expecting, you were not thinking about, and it happens and you're like, oh my gosh, it's even better than I was thinking. A lot of times it can be if you put in the positive affirmations to make it so. Anyway. Let's see, Ryan says, I'm working on shirts that have me drawn out in a Death Spang style art. I'll have to send you a piece of felt that says "Felt by Ryan." Oh my gosh, that is funny, Ryan. That's very funny. That's very funny. Let's see, Ryan also says, I learned a lot. Whoever said it was easy to get a book done, yeah, they lied. Yeah, absolutely. It's not. It depends on the depth of the book as well. I mean, you can write a short one, but the fact is you wanted a lot of information there. You wanted a lot of resources, a lot of educational, I guess, resources and information, maybe even some people's experiences. So yeah, you had a lot more than people who may be talking like writing like a fiction book or something. If they're writing like a very short like fiction or like kids book or something, they may not need to do all of the research. Oh, look at this rat. Look at those ears. That is cute. Okay, let's see. Katriana says, I tend to worry about everything that was out of my reach of changing, like worldwide conflicts. So I try to be positive about what I can change more closer to home. You're absolutely right. Because here's the thing that I always keep in mind. Whenever you hear all this crazy stuff, like stuff going on in the world or conflicts or all this other stuff, I think it's important to just be mindful and aware, but to not live in fear. You know why? Because fear is what they want you to feel. Fear is what they want you to feel because then they know that you will comply when there's fear involved. Oh, so scary, so scary. I must do this and that in order to protect myself and my family and all this other stuff. Fear is used as the driving motivator. Fear is a very good psychological weapon in order to force your hand, force you to do something. The fear of something. Even the fear of losing your job. Think about that for a moment. Your employer wants you to do something that goes against something that you truly believe in. Something that goes against your religious or philosophical ideas and beliefs. They want you to do that thing as part of the job. Well, a lot of people are just going to give in to that. Because, oh, they have family at home. They have to pay the bills. They have to make the money. They don't have anything else lined up. So they give in. We talked about this, was it this year or maybe last year, but it's called selling your soul. That's basically what it is, because you're sacrificing something that is very personal to you for someone else's benefit and happiness. So, it's a shame. It's a shame. See, I want to be able to get my life together. Well, Heathen Granny, that is an amazing goal to have. Now you need to outline the plan in order to achieve that goal. So that is your overall goal that you have. Now you need to be making the smaller steps within there. What specific things do you want to get together about your life? Outline those, detail those out, make the steps necessary in order to actually start changing. Because, yeah, you can sit here and say, I'll get my life together. Well, what does that mean exactly? That's a very open-ended statement that doesn't really have much of any meaning. It's about the specifics that you're doing. So as long as you write down the specifics, as long as you keep note of that, and you start to see your progress towards those steps, then you can accomplish what you so desire. I mean, this is always like the interesting thing to me. It's like I've talked with a lot of people who are, and I guess you can kind of apply this to me as well. Like people who have any sort of like social anxiety, who don't meet any people, okay, and they have no friends whatsoever. That used to be like me. I didn't really have too many friends. It was very, very, very minor. I have an okay amount now. I have a decent amount for what I prefer, even though most of them are online. Yeah, most of them are online, so it's kind of like there's no way we can possibly even really see each other, So it's like, okay. But regardless, when people are, they don't ever make an attempt to meet any new people or to go anywhere, or even online, they don't bother to join any groups or ways of communicating with people online or anything along the sort. They don't do those things. So they're sitting here upset that I don't have any friends. I have too much anxiety. I cannot meet people. Well, what are you expecting? What are you expecting if all you do is just close yourself off from the world? Are you expecting just a magical friend to just show up to your door one day and say, "Hey, I'm gonna be your friend," and it's gonna be the best friendship ever? It's like, what sort of dreamland do those people live in? But unfortunately, that's how a lot of people may end up thinking. But the problem is that they're not putting in the effort to change anything about themselves. They're just expecting something to happen that's going to be of benefit to them. What you have to do, oh, kissy, 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 no kissing allowed. No kissing allowed. And there is the Rona going around. You have to kiss via. You have to wear masks. You didn't put a mask in your. Oh, it makes me so angry. Anyway, so yeah, you being able to step out of your comfort zone. So here's what I'd say to those people: the people who have the social anxiety, who are very nervous about going out. It's like, start with very small things, whether it be meeting some people online, maybe meeting some people, going to events that you like locally, you know? So that's what you got to do. So, yep. Yeah, you made the doctor have a heart attack from the kissing. The kissing without a mask. Ooh, that makes me so angry. Ooh. Let's see, Ryan says it was extremely difficult. Luckily, I got documents from the Cree, OGB, and Iru. Okay, I'm messing that up so much. I'm messing up so much. Personally, I've always felt that we are one with the planet, but somehow got divided by religion, beliefs, or whatever. Just trying to connect one human to another is a basic thing everyone can do. You're absolutely right. We are so divided. We are so divided. If people can just see past all the division, you just got to be able to see past it all and just realize that there is physical division among maybe where we live, what race that we are, what sort of interests that we have, what sort of religion that we have, what sort of political beliefs or philosophical beliefs on life and whatever else divides us. A lot of those are society. It's like if you grow up in a very religious society, you may be of that religion, whereas other people who don't grow up in that religion are not going to be that way. I mean, there's like things you can't change, obviously, but the fact is, there's so much division that people are going to look at, that they're going to judge someone based on. Even just someone's sex, they're going to judge. It's like, oh, you are a female, you are a male, So it's like that type of division there. It's very interesting. But yeah, we got to be able to look past it and just realize we're all human beings. Now, of course, men are different than women, different cultures, different societies, different religions. Everyone is different. Everyone is unique. That is what is so nice about the world, that everyone is different. Okay. There will always be something to learn from each other. I find it beautiful. You're absolutely right. You're right. Always something to learn. I see it's fun. It's always funny how a trademark in your name, Granny, it always comes up as an emoji when you get replied to. And then you have a sickle after that, a hammer and... it's funny. It's funny stuff. Funny stuff. Funny stuff. So yeah, I personally think 2025 is going to be an amazing year of a lot of accomplishments, a lot of success. This will be our last stream of this year, folks. We're going to see what the theme is. What is the theme of 2025? Let's draw our trusty tarot card. And let's say, boys, do you have any goals for 2025? Yes, Loser. I would love to sniff more feet. Okay. And what about you, boy? I also would like to sniff more feet in 2025. Okay, very generic, very simple, very basic goals that these mice have. But let's draw the card and see what the theme is for 2025. The theme of 2025 is going to be the Three of Pentacles. Well, just based on the illustration, it looks like a man who is making these pentacles here with hard labor, and he's maybe going to reap the rewards of it. Pentacles is a lot about money. Okay, so maybe if you're financially struggling on something, maybe that will help you tremendously get on the right path. Let's see what it says. Three of Pentacles, abilities, approval, effort. Your abilities that you have, the skills that you have that you can work on, the time and energy you put into something to make it succeed. Maybe this is finally going to be the year that all of those things are recognized. The effort that you have put in for so many tiring hours is finally going to be realized. That other people are going to recognize you and your work and see it as what you've always been seeing it, or even better. So, something amazing to think about for the new year. That sounds good, right? That sounds very, very good. Very positive, optimistic, which is what we wanted for the new year. That's going to be the theme. So, whatever it is, put in your time and energy into achieving what you desire, and you shall achieve it. Let's see, I have this one colleague, she fled from Syria and has a completely different background. I mean everything. Religion, upbringing. Now she works with me. I'm trans, so it's two worlds clashing together. Oh my gosh. Still, we're found common ground and like to work with each other. It warms my heart. Well, that is fantastic to hear. Yeah, it's very interesting. Like if you ever, meet anyone or talk with anyone from a completely different, culture and society and completely different country, their standards are very, very different. Completely different. Something that could be very acceptable in another country could be considered rude or disgusting or just nasty or, anything else in a different country. It's interesting. It's very interesting. Or some things that maybe you don't do in a certain country. It's like also could be considered rude. It's like maybe it's rude to do certain things in this country that in other countries it would be very acceptable to actually do them. If a matter of fact, in another country, it would be considered a nice thing if you did so-and-so activity. But here, if you do that same thing, it would be considered rude. It's interesting. It's interesting. Mal, great to have you here, Mal. How are you doing? We're going to be heading off here in just a moment. So sorry, Mal. You have to rewatch it afterwards if you so desire. But this is our last stream of this year, our last broadcast. And our last tea of the year. No more tea this year, folks. No more tea. It's gone. So, whatever it is that you're looking to achieve in 2025, all of the skills and abilities and accomplishments that you want to make them happen. How about this? Don't even wait for the new year. Start right now learning that new skill, putting the effort into something that you've been procrastinating on. Whatever it is, do it and achieve it. And start thinking in a way that's going to allow you to manifest that and bring that into your life. Look how cute this mouse is as I'm shaking him and his ears are bobbing. DJ? He is so cute. Oh. I don't know if this one does it. Let's see if this one does it too. Get his ears back. He's not quite as cute. Let's get this ears back, boy. Get him back. There you go. Get him back. Okay. The other one's a little cuter with his ears. Okay, so I want to thank you all so very much for tuning in to this broadcast today, and I can say this now. I will see you next year. It's only a week, but I will see you next year right here on this channel, same time. So it was nice to chat. Thank you. I wish everyone a happy, peaceful year 2025. Lots of love. I agree with that. Everyone have a great one and achieve so much success. So take care, and I'll see you in 2025. Bye-bye.